POPAVIST made smoother than your smoothest criminal. Shamo, about that money, what we get into. Shamo, about that money, get residuals. Shamo.
Yes. Yes, 2 times. Y'all know the vibes. They go,
ooh la la, are we win?
She go,
ooh la la, are we win?
We go,
ooh la la, are we win?
They go,
ooh la la, are we win? Ooh la la, are we win? Ooh la la, are we win? Ooh la la,
that shit is not crazy, right? Like,
la.
looking for M's like I lost a friend. Hop out of the bed like, where's the bread? What it do, people? You're now tuned in. POPAVIST TV. We live, we rolling, we unscripted, we authentic. That feeling back up in here one more again. If it's your first time, then come on in. Don't be shy. Over here, we deal with sports, hip-hop, interviews, POPAVISMs 101, and motivation. If that sounds like something you can rock with, then before you exit left, before you hit stage left and make your grand exit, kindly hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification bell so when I upload the videos, you get alerted. Yeah. And if it's not your first time, then you know how we do. You know how I start the show. Tony, there was no other way. We in the end game now. We in the end game, people. We in the end game because yesterday they had to stop the San Diego Padres and the Nationals game because it was gunfire outside the stadium. Like they said, details are still sketchy. But 4 people did get hit, injured, shot. Fortunately, nobody, no life-threatening injuries, fortunately, because they saying 2 cars was shooting it out. Like, this shit is crazy. Like, every day you turn on the TV is like some other wild, crazy shit to fuck with your brain, to mess with your peace of mind. Like, damn, you know what I mean? And, for the people that love it, like, you can't get enough of these stories because they always happening. You want to know what happened. You want to see the actual footage. That shit could damage you. Like, you know what I mean? That shit is desensitized, like fully desensitized. Like the video that they were showing with the people running like in the crowd. And then, when it's a lot of people, all it really takes is for people to just take off and scare everybody, put everybody in a frenzy. And then now people is getting toppled over, people is getting stomped out. They said some of the fans had to run inside the third base dugout or a little area where they be. So just crazy footage coming out that they got all also, on the big networks, ESPN and all that shit. You know what I mean? And it's just like, damn, can't go to the movies, can't go to no baseball games, can't go downtown in 42nd and one of the most, tourist areas on the planet without some shit popping off. Like you could be downtown, minding your business, looking at all the lights and all of the lights. Like all of the lights, like all of the lights, taking your little photos and pictures and shit, and get pops, like for real, like you know what I mean. And it's not even going like back to the days where the pickpocket and 42nd was 42nd little peep shows, and I'm even too young for that. You know what I mean? I was like a little before the era. You know what I mean? Before the kid. You know what I mean? You see it in the movies and even downtown. You just see like the little pornography videos and all that. What was the residue of what it was? Then you fast forward today. You say like, nah, that's one of the most securest places on the planet. It gotta be, right? Until you have incidents where people was letting off broad daylight, gunning people down, innocent people getting shot, 4-year-old girls and all that. Then it's the other story, and I don't got all the details. I'm only saying it's like just because just to remind people, like, be one first, but you're black first. All that's no such thing as black on black. Like, nah, it is, really is. Regular people being terrorized in their homes and their places of residency. Like, scared to say something, scared to, step over people. Got to step out and step over a whole 5 human beings. Like, you live here, they don't. You know what I mean? That part of the hood where it's like, damn, you know what I mean? But they say because of the the young boy that was the 13-year-old that was killed. They saying retaliation is a 16-year-old boy that was shot in the Bronx in a delivery in the livery cab, black livery cab. And I seen the footage. You know, unfortunately, rest in peace to him, and condolences to his family. Wow, crazy story. Like they saying the gun violence is like back in the early 90s. Like yeah, like shit crazy, shit crazy. Like you know what I mean? Like Uncle Murder, crazy, shit crazy. And it's like all for what? Like retaliate, and they got the dudes just like that. Like Thanos snap his fingers. You should have went for the head. Like, should have wore a mask. You should have thought about your decisions. And I get it. When you mad and you don't got no direction and you frustrated and, you know, people is in your ear with the bullshit and the buffoonery remains at an all-time high. You could get duped and tricked. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, go do that. Nigga be gassing you up and you go do it and it's like, damn, you didn't think it through. Like, you know what I mean? And now... first degree murder charges or second degree murder charges, like that. 2 dudes on a scooter think this shit is New Jack City, like, you know what I mean? Nino on the back of that bike, like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you niggas think this shit is a movie. But till you look at the end of the movie, most of the time, you know, the bad guy, the person we root for, them niggas either end up dead or in jail with 1,000 years on their brain. Like, hold this shit down. See if you can, you know what I mean? See if you can hold this shit out. And shit crazy. Young. I don't know how old they were. They said men. So it was like, damn, grown men is gunning down 16-year-olds. Like, I know what it's like to lose. To feel so desperately that you're right, yet to fail. You know what I mean? Super in-game shit. That's some super in-game shit. For those that seen the video. But let's move on. You know what I mean? Let's talk about how Giannis said, what? Giannis said, oh, what? Oh, what? Chris Paul, what? Devin Booker, Kobe, what? Bucks in 6. And I'm not predicting that. I actually thought Phoenix was going to win the series, and they still can win the series in 7. However, to lose 3 in a row, ooh, that was a big blow. Game 5 was crazy. Middleton showed up big time, like, oh, no, I'm big time. I'm built for these moments, and he definitely got the J. Like, his jump shot is water all day. That 4.5, I told y'all, the only thing I was wrong on, I was rushing. I said Milwaukee game and under should have took the over. You know what I mean? And I think the over was 221 or 220.5. But we was right about the game. We definitely was right about the game. Being greedy with the 2 pick. Burn down your happy land. I fucking hate losing. Like, damn it, B. You gonna get them tomorrow, who I think not tomorrow, actually Tuesday's the next game. They got a chance to close it out and bring that second title back to Milwaukee. Do I think they're gonna do it? I don't think they're gonna do it. And this is why. This is why I'm going with Phoenix. One, it's hard to beat a team 4 straight. Then when the team beats you and now you coming back, you won your 2 games. They was up 16. They kind of let the ball go. And even though they didn't call a foul on Drew Holiday when he ripped the ball from Devin Booker, it looked like they could have called the foul. It looked like he definitely had the ball and had his hand and his arms and all that shit too. But they was letting him play. You could say calls this way, calls that way. At the end of the day, they didn't close the deal. They was up, cool. Team's gonna make runs. They're gonna make adjustments. You know, Devin Booker had 40. He dropped a 40 piece, like, on your head, like when the chicks be doing this shit, because their head be scratchy, you know what I mean, itchy and stink and all that. Yeah, like 40 on your head, like, but you lost with that L though. And that was 3 straight. Even though it's home and it's on the road. Another reason why I went with Milwaukee too, keep it a buck. I like everybody gonna take the Phoenix at home. They just lost 2. They ain't gonna lose 3, right? They lost 3. Now it's like Bucks, the pressure's on them to close it out. Tight arms, tight legs, get that pressure on you like, damn, we lose here, we going back to Phoenix for game 7. That's not what they're going to want to do. They Phoenix for game 7. Now game 7 on the road, even though all the pressure will be on Phoenix at that point because they would have had 1 game 6. But they're going to be favored. I'm going to take Phoenix with the points. I'm not saying that the Bucks can't close them out and Giannis get that bling blah, like your wrist bling bling, my shit bling blah. My pinky ring talk, it say 50, I'm sick. And let's talk about 50, and let's talk about power, but not power. Talking about Raising Kanan. I told you we're gonna be, talking about power, Raising Kanan, if you will. And although, like he said, it's a spoiler, I'm about to talk about it. If you ain't see it yet, then this is where you need to click off the video, because we're gonna be talking about some shit. You know what I mean? Not in the way you probably think, though. I mean, we know the story of Kanan, and at the end of the movie, at the end of the show, you hear him, he's commentating his own life, obviously, right? It's befitting the 50 Cent to use his own voice. I'm not mad at you. Get all that bread. That BMF series looked like it's going to be about something, too. I mean, obviously, we know the story, but when you get to see the intricate details and the characters develop, that's kind of like, what you really watch series and great writing for, is the theater of it. But with that being said, at the end, he like, y'all already know how the fuck my shit turned out. We see him get burned up, come back to life, come back, want to kill niggas, be partners with niggas, you know what I mean? And then go out the crazy way, you know what I mean? Taking out a few with him as well. So we know how his shit ended. Like he said, you don't know how it starts and the shit in between. So, take place 91, you know what I mean? Southside, obviously. NWA's back in this motherfucker, taking out all you commercialized ass niggas, and we doing this one type smooth. That was my shit back then. Niggas for Life album, 91, fire. And then they had a couple of gems playing. They had Gangstar, you know what I mean? Just to Get a Rep playing in the background when they was getting ready to get busy. That's an ill song, However Do You Want It, Soul to Soul, and so much music was out at that time. You had Ghetto Boys, Ice-T, you know what I mean? You had KL, you had Slick Rick, you had so many artists not sounding the same either. Oh yeah, see T-Pain, see Dr. Dre agreeing with T-Pain about niggas sounding the same. So it was just like, we knew he wasn't going to school and being no smart kid, and he turned out to be, a menace to society. And then he raised and gave game to two more menaces in society. So you see the contrast with Tariq, obviously going to college, coming from having wealth, not being poor. His father made money. And then even though, Kanan is not poor either, but is knee deep in the drug shit like his mom's is. And there's some similarities to 50 Life, obviously, with the moms. Obviously, I think she get murdered in this. They're going to knock her off. Raising Kanan, and he got his two uncles. And then when they was driving, it's like, I thought she was taking me to grandma's house, because, that's like get rich or die trying. And she's like, nah, I took him to the lake or whatever, gave him some game. And, it's an interesting dynamic when you see like women lead the role, like how Mary J. Blige came in, and the Tashas, and how they do things opposite of men, especially in the street life. And we see where Jukebox get her liking for women. Obviously, to look like the little white girl done turned her out, you know what I mean? Or at least was leading her in that direction. You see, she was leaning close, and she was a little taken back. And then obviously, we already know. So when you fast forward and you see she's a cop, and you see 50 Cent and all that, and you're like, yeah, you know what I mean? This bitch like licking, you know what I mean? A little licky and all that. So, it's real interesting. The scenery, obviously, the cars, and, if you was back then and you now, if you fortunate to live through those time periods, the city has changed, but certain things are the same, but it's definitely not like that. You know what I mean? Like, shit is way different now. You know what I mean? Obviously, social media has played a big part on how we do things. You know what I mean? So with that being said, we're going to cover it up. What y'all think? Giannis going to close it out. Obviously, the story at the Nationals. Anytime you step out, you got to keep your head on the swivel. Stay prayed up. Stay vigilant. Teach your family to be vigilant and respect people. Respect and have courtesy. That shit go a long way. You'd be surprised, like, yeah, nigga won't even involve you in the fuckery when you know what I mean, present yourself with respect, and you command respect at the same time. Like, gotta be earned, you know what I mean? It's not given out. No handouts. Only thing handout was handouts, exactly. That part. It's your boy, POPAVIST. You're now tuned in. POPAVIST TV, that's my show. We live, we rolling, we unscripted, we authentic. That feeling. Back up in here, one more game. Yeah, kid.